Remember, we had the argument about technology and about injuries.
Sure.
And remember, I told you the thing that's making injuries what they are is the level of athletes we have, the space, the level of defense you have to play, the amount of movement that this league requires you to play in. And I think we have 8 Achilles tears so far, in the season that we just played. 3 star level Achilles tears in the NBA playoffs between Dame, Tatum, and Hallie. And I do think, and Mars obviously was very loud about this online, just in terms of not playing with calf injuries and all that stuff, which I completely understand. But chill. I think we need to come to like a little bit of a consensus here. I do think the reason why injuries are happening to this degree with tendons, especially, is because the game and the demand of the game with the level of athletes that we have in place. I think all of that, including the pace, the athletes, the grind on the body, still maintaining an 82-game season. I think all of that together is what's leading to these kind of points. Now, maybe I'm not talking necessarily straight at tears, chill, but in terms of lower body extremities, like in these injuries we're seeing pile up, I do think it's all that stuff mixed up together.
Well, when
I want to put this on the right quick, chill. I just want to put this on the screen so we could look at the ACL and Achilles injuries over this season. You have Tyrese Halliburton, obviously, in Game 7 yesterday. Jason Tatum obviously tore his Achilles as well in the second round of the playoffs. Then you go back earlier in the season, DeJounte Murray. Then you have Kyrie Irving. He tore his ACL. Dame, first round of the playoffs, tears his Achilles. Isaiah Jackson, another Pacer. He tore his Achilles. James Wiseman, another Pacer, tore his Achilles. Grant Williams, torn ACL. DeAnthony Melton, torn ACL. I think he did that like first 5 games of the season. Drew Smith ruptured his Achilles. And then you have Mo Wagner also tore his left Achilles as well, or left ACL.
Yep. So to your point, Swiper, which the grind is, we already know what the grind is, but we haven't had nearly as many injuries like this to this extent that we had in the past. So what I'm thinking is if the athlete is better, sure, there's a lot more space that I have to cover. And with a lot more space that has to cover, that suggests that that's more work that I have to do. Well, Mars, if you're giving me more work to do, and if you're giving me more work to do in an advanced environment, doesn't that mean that you got to update my equipment too? Because if you're making me do more work, if I'm building a building and I'm building a building in a space where this building needs to be more technologically advanced, well, this saw that I have, this saw is not going to be good enough. You got to give me something better than this saw if you want me to perform at the level that I need to perform. With technology being what it is, the equipment that these guys have, maybe that needs to change too. So like these sleeves that these guys wear, the shoes that these guys wear. I don't remember having Achilles tears and ACL tears like this when guys wore higher shoes. That may be an issue. These sleeves that these guys wear. When Allen Iverson wore that sleeve on his left elbow, just so you know, that wasn't for aesthetics. He had a condition on his elbow. That's why he wore it, for his elbow. So the conditions that these guys play in, the fact that the game is advanced, the fact that these guys have gotten better, maybe the equipment needs to be updated so these guys can perform at a higher level and they're able to stay on the floor.
Chill. My thing is, and I don't want to go too deep into it. I mean, we can go as deep as you guys want to go into it. Pause. But my thing on this is chill. Like we all act like in the 90s, people wasn't rotating and scrambling and shuffling their feet. Not to
this extent.
See, I disagree. I disagree.
The game was not this wide open. Guys were shooting the long ball. I'm not going to argue that, Ron. Guys were 100% shooting the long ball. But the game was in the mid-range and the game was on the box. The 3 was a luxury for teams.
See, you can maybe say for bigs, but even in this list that I mentioned, not all of these guys were bigs. Like my thing is DeJounte Murray, Tyrese Halliburton, Kyrie Irving, they're not big men. So like yeah, it was some big men in here, but my thing is in the 2000s compared to now, I was scrambling, moving my feet, sliding, closing out just as much as I was today.
You didn't have to cover nearly this much space, Ron. You didn't. You
had to cover.
Okay, you still did, but
you bring in I'm not. Well, I mean, there's a significant gap between the level. That's what I'm saying. Like you're an athlete, Ron. I'm saying you're an athlete, Ron. I'm not. No, I've seen you. But I'm saying like there's a significant gap between you and the people you're covering and the wear and tear of an 82 game season.
Now the wear and tear of an 82 game season.
What about the 80s? What about the 70s and the 80s when they were running up and down the court nonstop?
Was it?
But I'm saying
that's what I'm saying. Was it the pace
in the
70s? Was it the pace faster?
But I feel like y'all are like undermining like we're because only in NBA have we done that. Could chill. You can speak to this obviously well because you watched more than even I have. But real talk, the NFL, like, are you would you be presupposing that the game is the same and the level of athletes are the same in the NFL as they were in the 1980s?
No, I'm glad you brought up the NFL though, because I was actually going to bring that up myself. Look, I know injuries are a part of sports. They just are. So if we want to sit here and try to do they should cut the game down to 72 games or 65. People are going to be injured and get injured in that 65 game regular season or that 72 game regular season. In football, they keep moderating the rules. They keep changing the equipment.
But do you know why they changed
you can't? Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, for the concussions and stuff like that, the helmets and stuff. But what I'm saying is that you can't mitigate violence out of football. You can't you can't take injury out of sports. It's unfortunate.
They've lessened the violence.
Stuff is going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. No, but like they literally took the kickoff away. They've taken spearing head to head away. They've taken the targeting stuff came in over 10 years ago.
Saying football. What I'm saying, football it's a violent sport.
It is. Yeah,
you're going to have a lot of collisions that are unfortunate. You're going to have incidents that are unfortunate. Mm-hmm. You're going to see. Actually, when I used to play football, and I know a lot of other football players that say this too. I would rather you hit me up top than be trying to hit me at my knee and take out my knee and my ankle and all that kind of stuff. And now I got a torn ACL when I could have just had a concussion. I mean, just a concussion sounds crazy, but when you are
very crazy.
But in comparison to like my ligaments and my knee are going, the athlete would rather, because you can bounce back from a concussion way faster than you can bounce back from a torn ACL. So I'm just saying, like, it is what it is. There's unfortunate circumstances.
That's you got to remember, real talk from Texas. They different in Texas when it comes to football.
That's a football state. Like you all right, get your helmet.
I'd rather have a concussion than a torn ACL too.
Yeah, but you know what else I'd rather run? I'd rather when I'm 42 years old, I know where I live in an hour.
Well, I mean, chill. We talk about either or though. Like you don't want either of them. But I'm saying I'd rather be out 2 or 3 weeks than to be out for a whole season.
2 or 3 weeks.
And maybe never come back at all.
2 or 3 weeks.
Think about the life after sports, though, Ron. Like you have concussions. You can only play into your mid-30s. You know what I'm saying? If you're in football, if you're lucky, play to your mid-30s. So my thing is, of course, I don't want to tear my ACL. And if it's a 1-for-1 thing, like one concussion, one ACL, I understand where you're coming from. Like in the
athlete perspective, I know it's not smart when you step back and think about it.
I don't want to be in my 50s and 40s and have headaches and can't remember shit and you know what I'm saying, be dizzy. You know what I'm saying?
Want to blow my brains out because I hurt all the time and it's unbearable.
That's a quality of life thing. I only played football when I was young. You know what I'm saying? I didn't play football past my sophomore year in high school, so I don't know what y'all know about football. All I'm saying is that I wouldn't want to have either one. But as far as the basketball goes, I think a lot of fans are like worried about not being able to see as many games or this and that. But I think if you were to maybe lessen this, maybe I don't know about lessening games, but maybe less back-to-backs, less games bunched up on road trips, you know what I'm saying? Give the players a little bit more time to recover and heal.
Well, they've done that before this year, Ox. This season it's been the least amount of back-to-back games.
Right. Well, I'm saying even more, chill. Like there's because you gotta think there's so many teams in the NBA, right? Where if they staggered the schedule, you could still fill up, game wise, as far as like making sure there's games on TV and give teams a little bit more time in between to rest and whatnot. And
Yo, Ox, I gotta jump in here right quick. Just hold that right quick. I hate to step in and interrupt this intense yap session that you're currently watching, but I just have to inform you on all the amazing, spectacular, fabulous, endless ways to play and win over at Prize Picks. Basketball fans, I know the season is just tipping off. Yes, I know this. But you know what that means? It means that you have an opportunity to pick your favorite players and their matchups that are the most thrilling and you can win money from these. With Prize Picks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections and every single stat line imaginable to make your Prize Picks and take home some nice hard-earned cash. Are you a rookie in the game? Don't even sweat it. I got the playbook for you right here. All you have to do is download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play 5 here with Prize Picks. So what are you waiting for? Download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and join me as we break down all of our amazing daily picks right here on the panel. Prize Picks. Run your game, control your game, win your game. It's easy, baby. It's easy. As you were saying, Ox?
No, that's all. I'm just saying, like, I don't think if they gave the players a little more rest, a little less back-to-backs, or just lessen it up a little more, I don't think it would hurt the quality of the sport. I don't think fans will really notice.
Agreed.
I know a lot of guys are like, oh, that's crazy. They've been doing this, they could play whatever. Like, it's not gonna hurt you. The only thing it can do is maybe help some players not get injured. And
15
the thing about
back-to-backs too, Ox. Golly.
Well, I'm just saying though, why not? Who does that hurt? Like,
No, I'm saying like having 15 is not necessary. I'm saying we can less than 15 would be perfectly fine.
Right, but we can do none.
But they've already made progress with that. Like I said, this is the least amount of backups they've played this season ever.
Right.
So we're making progress, Ox.
You said least amount of backups.
Are you against them going further and doing maybe? I'm so for no back-to-backs.
Anything, to be honest with you, anything to, 1, make the game better, 2, keep the athlete on the floor. I'm all for that. Because to be quite honest with you, Ox, I understand that I'm getting paid $45 million. I understand that I'm getting paid $50 million. But the idea of playing against the Toronto Raptors tonight, and I got to jump on a bird tonight, and I show up at the hotel at 2:30 in the morning, and I got to get right back to it tomorrow, and I just got off a plane from 3 hours, that's hard to do.
Chill, you've done that before. You've done that before.
That is hard to do.
So this is my question. So first of all, everybody's not making 35 mil. Everybody's not making top dollars. So there's players that are making less than that still got to play the same games. They might play less minutes. I understand that, right? But chill. I want to talk to you because you've done that before. You've played back-to-back games before.
Not in the NBA, but I have.
Yeah, I'm not talking. We're talking basketball, right?
Sure.
And you've played a game, and the next day, does it take a little more to get your body going?
Yes, I gotta get running. Even when I'm 21, 22 years old, yes, I still gotta. Yeah. I gotta get my motor running. I gotta get loose. And this is before what we have today, Swiper, in terms of technology and massages and trainers and things of that nature. We don't have that. It's just, get your ankle tape, throw your shoes on, let's stretch a little bit, and let's get to it. This has nothing to do with getting on a massage table or nothing like that. No.
Chill. It's not even like, and so I know I'm going, I don't know if it's extreme, but I'm just saying, just even at any level of basketball, even like in AAU, when you play five games in a week,
5 games in a day,
that's a lot on you. That's a lot on you. It doesn't, and all the extra recovery and stuff. I'm saying, like, even kids are popping ibuprofens and rubbing icy hot and Tiger Balm on their bodies at 15, 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like ice straight to the knees. You playing through it. So, and I'm not saying like, oh, stop AAU, because it's nothing like AAU. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy dope. But like at this point when you're playing professionals, man, I don't think it's no need to be playing all these back-to-backs, bro.
I just feel like it's a double-edged sword, because what's the most important thing here, Ox? The most important thing is the players, the product. We have no product, we have no game. And if the product is damaged, if the product is damaged, then the quality of the game goes down. The quality of the game goes down. Now we don't have the audience. All right, so what can we do to ensure that these guys are as healthy as possible, are as able to play, and are as available as possible? What can we do to do that? Well, travel has improved. Not only has travel improved, accommodations have improved, medicine has improved. All of this stuff has improved. And to Ron's point, the game, it's a lot more wide open, Ron. There's so much more space. If I'm 21 years old having to play in today's game, there's so much more space I got to cover now. I don't have to just cover.
You wasn't picking up people full court back in the day?
I was picking up people full court, but here's the difference, Ron. In the half court, I only had to cover to the long ball line. And I didn't even have to close out a lot of times because guys weren't shooting the long ball. Now I got to cover further than the long ball. Not only do I have to cover further than the long ball, I got to close out different because a guy is driving. And not only is he driving, he may stop at the long ball line. So I got to take that into consideration.
So
now
niggas didn't drive in the 80s?
100% they drove in the 80s, but they drove to the rim.
But Ron, I feel like you're really simplifying this. I'm a little surprised.
He is.
Honestly.
He 100%
I'm not,
is,
because
Ron.
I
But
played
you can't keep
basketball in the
comparing
2000s.
yourself
I
to
played
these people,
basketball
though.
in the 10s.
Ron,
Way
you gotta
different than the game
you
was
do need
30
to
years ago.
decenter yourself in this. You ain't them, and you ain't one of these athletes. Nor you playing 82.
Swiper. Okay, the 82 part I get,
but you ain't them either. You're not that athlete either.
You can't say the 82 part when athletes in high school tear their Achilles and ACL, athletes in college tear their Achilles and ACL, athletes overseas, athletes in the G League, and they don't play 82 games.
No, Ron, but did you? I guess what I'm saying is, Ron,
you can get hurt in practice. You can get hurt in
but you
can get hurt. Like
you seem to be getting confused though with my.
Swiper, you don't know who I'm playing against. You don't know who I'm playing against.
Ron, the reason why I don't want to bring you into the conversation.
I have to close out to, like, they might not be in the NBA, but
no,
these white boys that I play against are shooters.
The reason why I don't want to include you in the
that
conversation is because I don't want to. I'm trying to do two things: not undermine what you have done, because I publicly acknowledge that you are a really good athlete and you have a great track record as an athlete, but I'm also not trying to center that, because that's not the experience of these NBA athletes that we're currently talking about. So what I'm saying is, it's not just the 82.
It's bad athletes.
What I'm putting together, the argument I was putting together as to why this is such a prevalent issue now, is that, to your point, Ron, if this was the night, I've said this about myself. If I was in my prime in 1982, I would have been a first round pick at linebacker. 232 pounds, running a 4.65, that explosive. In 2012, that was nothing. But Ron, you 1963, Bill Russell, who knows? Like, you probably would have been locking up Bob Cousy and them. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there, Ron. There's a possibility. But Ron, what I'm saying is that now everybody else is that much better of an athlete than you or I, and they're having to cover other people who are even better athletes. And the pace, plus the athleticism, plus the grind, plus the fact that you're playing so many minutes, plus the fact that you still got training camp, preseason, regular season, playoffs, and then you take 3 months off, and in that 3 months, you're playing basketball again versus the other athletes.
Okay, so what is the solution?
I proposed it already. If you weren't here,
what is it?
And then I thought Ox had a great idea too. I personally think that reducing the schedule load. The NBA knows that it doesn't have to have. So one of the very simple things, I'll put this to you real talk and ask you this question because you're a guest, and I want you to make sure you can answer this. One of the things that people did suppose, real talk, is starting the regular season either later or extending when the NBA Finals is played through. So what you do is you spread the season out more. If you're going to keep 82 games, that way you eliminate back-to-backs, basically virtually period. And then on top of that, real talk, the Indiana Pacers played in the damn in-season tournament, and they played an 83rd. They played an 83rd game last year. Mm-hmm. So like, there's also the NBA adding more games.
Game isn't the reason why Tyrese Halliburton.
No, I know, but I'm giving you multiple data points. Is what I'm saying. So you don't have to always get stuck on one. I'm saying in totality, these are adding to the issue. Real talk. If they extended the year and eliminated more back-to-back and extended the year 1 month, would you be in favor of something like that, to say now the NBA Finals is ending July 4th or, July 15th or whatever else, as opposed to right now?
So I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. I know a lot of the times I thought you were going to say or mention like reducing the games, and that's just up to the players. That's up to the players if they want to take a pay cut, because with less money, with less games,
not trying to hear that.
You're going to make less money. That's not going to be a fact. So if they don't want to do that, then the schedule is going to be basically what the schedule is. They want to keep making, if they want the salary cap to keep going up over and over and over again and get paid 60, 65, 70. Now we finna get to some players making $75
We're not doing that with
$62
a year. Games. We're not doing that with a 65 game schedule.
You're gonna have to play the games. It is what it is, bro. I'm sorry. I don't have a problem with the schedule. I don't have a problem with it's a give and a take. The give is that I can play a profession that gives me generational wealth. I can do something that provides for not only me and my family at the time being, but for for generations to come. And the trade-off is, hey, my body may be a little sore. Hey, I may get an injury. I may like that. That's the give and the take about wanting to be a professional athlete. They're professional athletes. People are going to get hurt. It's very unfortunate. But the trade-off is that Tyrese Halliburton is finna get paid. Didn't he make the All-NBA team to sign that extension?
He just signed an extension.
He's gonna make what? $50-something million a year.
What does that mean, though?
He just signed an extension. He just signed a max extension.
I think the main thing too, real talk, is so I want to put it this way, and I don't want it to sound, messed up or anything, but I'm not saying for these professionals, when it's kids and stuff like that, okay, protect them. For the professionals, I'm not necessarily saying protect the professional. I'm saying protect the quality of the game you're about to put in front of me. If these losers hurt, I'm about to be watching some weak ass basketball all in the East.
And then you're gonna turn it off, Fox.
It's
and then
not
you're gonna turn it off. You're not gonna want to watch.
Because
I know that. I know that.
We're gonna be just as tapped in next year.
Ron, but I'm talking about for the casual fan, Ron, who they love.
They're gonna enjoy it too. They're gonna learn about Paulo Banchero. Joel Embiid's gonna be back. They're gonna learn about LaMelo Ball. Like
they know about LaMelo Ball. I'm talking about Tyrese Halliburton fans, Jason Tatum fans. My son is devastated about this Jason Tatum thing.
Yeah, and next year he's gonna have a new favorite player.
He will because he's
Ron, you're very sensitive. I'm not gonna lie. That's crazy.
The show will go on.
Ron, we know that, Ron. What I'm saying is that there's a lot of casual fans out there, Ron, and you can't grasp it because you are a hooper, because you love basketball. You might not be able to see from the eyes of the casual fan, and I'm happy for you. That's a good thing. But they exist. They exist, bro. And
that's what we're going after too, Ron. By the way,
watch NBA basketball because of Tyrese Halliburton, Dame Lillard, and Jason Tatum. You got to accept that as a fact because that is true. But what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say to Real Talk's point, because Real Talk is saying, the trade-off, like we're trying to protect the professional athlete. The trade-off is that you're going to get paid more. Real Talk, think about it from the other aspect of it, where we're not so much concerned with their health, as I know that sounds wrong, and I of course I care about their health, but it's not so much about that. It's more about the fact that the Indiana Pacers were just in the finals this year. You know what I'm saying? They won't be next year. You know what I mean? The Celtics are looking at trading Jaylen Brown and all these other players because they can't do nothing this year and they got to pay all this money. Like the Celtics are, for all intents and purposes, going to be garbage next year. You know what I'm saying? Giannis out there wasting time in Milwaukee. He don't got no Dame. They're not doing nothing next year. Well, I mean, they might now. It's a little more wide open. But you know what I'm saying?
They'll make the playoffs, but to your point,
they're not doing nothing. So I'm saying, like, what about the quality? Damn, the quality of their life. What about the quality of our entertainment?
Yeah,
entertainment is still going to be there. The NBA we're still going to have an NBA finals.
Boy, Ron, when you want to be dense, when you want to not listen, bro, you be perfect.
So here's the thing. No, because you guys are spewing nonsense.
Ron's logic
like,
is the show. Ron's logic is the show will go on.
Y'all act like Kobe Bryant didn't have to retire.
I feel like Ox presented a very fair argument too.
No, he is, but I'm saying no.
Okay, well, at least hear it and at least internalize his perspective. At least internalize his perspective and be like, you know what? I understand. My counterpoint would be, go ahead.
That's not wrong.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Ron is the show's gonna go on.
I got it. It doesn't matter.
The show must go on.
Okay, so it's gonna be raining in Boston. Cool. Well, guess what? Somebody else is gonna make the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's gonna be sunshine somewhere else.
And that's a fair point, Ron.
Okay, my thing is, we might lose some casual Boston fans, but you know what? We might gain some more casual fans in this other market that hasn't been popping in forever.
Charlotte,
we just gained some casual fans in Indiana.
That is business.
Like I'm saying, like it's
the NBA is going nowhere.
I'm saying, your son might be tight because Jason Tatum went down.
$50 super chat, Ron.
They
said enough of your yapping.
Well, guess what? He gonna find another favorite player elsewhere.
I mean, it
might be Jalen Green in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you,
super chat. Let's say Ron Hush.
Mind Goblin said, "Can we please change the subject?"
Why? Hold on, Ron. Why do we need to change the subject? First of all, a team in Indiana was just in the NBA Finals. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost their point guard for next season. This is a big deal. The Boston Celtics just won the NBA championship last year. They lost their best player to an Achilles injury. What are we doing? Why is this not something that we should be talking about? Why? What else should we be talking about right now? The NBA Finals was decided
SGA's
last
legacy
night.
next to Kobe Bryant. They want to
The-
talk
the-
about
the
that.
NBA
we definitely have to
NBA
talk about that.
Finals
I do
was
want to.
decided last night.
They want to. That's what
They
they do.
probably
Actually
just
wanna talk about
don't want to hear about it for 45 minutes. I don't know. Maybe that's it.
Well,
Yeah,
either way it
The
goes,
NBA Finals was
Morris, you
decided
got
last night
anything?
because
something
their
else you wanna
point
get
guard
into?
wasn't. He had a lot to do with him not being there. That's a big deal.
either
But
way
you
it
know what,
goes,
Mind Goblin? You want to talk basketball? Let's talk about this Oklahoma City team being the team of the ages. Let's do that. All right, I'm down to do that. Sure.
It's the player choice, great. They don't